My grandfather was one of the founders of the union in San Francisco. And my dad, he was a glazier, and then my dad became a glazier in the 30s, 40s. And in those days, you had to know somebody to get in a trade. And so my dad, he says, "You want to get in a trade?" And I said, "Yeah." And I says, "What trade, if you had to do it again, Dad, what would you do?" He said, "I'd be an electrician." He said, "You want to be an electrician?" I said, "No, I might electrocute myself." I didn't have a clue what it was about. And so then he said, "A plumber?" And I said, "No." And then I said, "If glazing was good enough for Grandpa, good enough for you, it'd be good enough for me."
Starting from me going backwards is my dad, my grandfather, my great-grandfather. You got myself and my son, Adam.
I'm the 5th generation in glazing, and 5 generations ago, like my great-great-grandfather, they were in the union. My grandfather was in the union and found his way out in the 90s, but 3rd generation at AGA, 5th generation in the industry.
My great-grandfather and grandfather were instrumental in starting the Glaziers Union in San Francisco. They were officials in the union, and they traveled quite a bit across the United States. Back in the day before airplanes, they took the train to go to conventions and organize the union. I didn't think I would follow in my dad's footsteps and be in the glass business. My first company was out of college, Swinnerton Builders, and my first project was in downtown San Francisco on Main Street.
And then he came to work with us, which was good, so.
In high school is when I started thinking about careers, and being raised around with my grandfather and my dad, I had an odd passion for glazing. I didn't know much about it. I'm still, today, everyone learns every day, but still learning, going through a large learning curve of how the whole industry works. My father and my grandfather pointing out the window, driving over the Bay Bridge, like, we did that, we did that, we did that. And just the fact that you can see the work at the end of the day, you can see the work 20 years later, 30 years later is it's unique. I think it's special that we can look and reflect on the work. And driving over the Bay Bridge, even a 10-year-old kid, listening to my dad point at stuff, and I just was like, oh, it's so cool that you can physically see the work, and then all the memories start to come back of the struggles and the good times on that specific job for however long it lasted. And being able to point out the window caught my eye at a young age. I think that's kind of what led me down this path.
I'm very proud of my family history, but I don't talk about it every day. I just come into work and work, but you know, there's times in life when you reflect, and I'm super proud of it.